Hello, welcome to the daily English language news program with the major developments of the day. I am your host, Ilham Məmmədov. President Ilham Aliyev offered his condolences to Camerlengo of the Holy Roman Church, Cardinal Kevin Farrell, over the death of Pope Francis. The letter states, "Your Eminence, we were deeply saddened to hear the news of passing of His Holiness Pope Francis, head of the Holy See and a renowned religious figure of our time. In the person of Pope Francis, the international community and the world's Catholics have lost a brilliant religious figure, a great personality with high moral qualities, whose life's mission was to selflessly serve the peace of humanity. Pope Francis dedicated his entire life and activity to the preservation of universal values, the promotion of interreligious and intercultural understanding, and the ideals of humanism, and worked tirelessly to establish relations of mutual understanding, unity and solidarity among people. Pope Francis, who exemplified a profound and glorious life path, gained great sympathy, deep respect and reverence throughout the world with his noble deeds above universal values, his calls for mercy, compassion, and spiritual greatness to people, his kindness and his self-sacrifice. His Holiness Francis has made invaluable contributions to the development and strengthening of friendship and cooperation between Azerbaijan and the Holy See. I will always remember my meetings with him and our sincere communication with the fondest impressions. The dear memory and rich spiritual heritage of Pope Francis will live forever in hearts and memories. Sharing the grief of this heavy loss, I extend my deepest condolences to you, the Holy See, and all your co-religionists personally and on behalf of the people of Azerbaijan. Ilham Aliyev, President of the Republic of Azerbaijan. President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Ilham Aliyev, signed an executive order on the provision of one-time financial assistance to participants of the 1941-1945 Second World War, as well as to the widows of those who were killed or later passed away, and to individuals awarded orders and medals for their dedicated labor on the home front. According to the executive order, in connection with the 80th anniversary of victory in World War II, participants of the war will receive a one-time payment of 2,500 manats. A one-time payment of 1,250 manats will be granted to the widows of those killed or who later passed away during the war. Individuals awarded orders and medals for their devoted labor on the home front during that period. Those who served in special units operating in the rear zones of combat fronts or in operational zones of active naval forces in support of the Army and Navy, as well as those awarded medals and badges for the defense of Leningrad and participants of the Leningrad blockade. To finance these payments, 3.2 million manats was allocated from the 2025 President's Reserve Fund. Another phase of resettlement to the village of Sarajali in Ağdam district and to the village of Ballaca of Xocalı district took place on Monday. As part of this phase, 34 families comprising 141 individuals were relocated to Sarajali village, while 21 families totaling 83 people were relocated to Ballaca village. The keys to the new apartments were handed over to the families. Standard living conditions have been created in the village for the residents. Construction of the Ağdam-Əskiran-Xocalı-Xankəndi road continues. Excavation works are underway on the 33.6-kilometer road. 2 layers of asphalt concrete pavement have already been laid on the 3.6-kilometer section. The construction of 148 water crossings, including rectangular and circular culverts of various diameters, is also underway along the route. Work is continuing on the construction of 5 single-span and 3-span bridges. It will also provide a faster and safer route for drivers and passengers traveling from Barda to Xankəndi, Şuşa and Laçin, allowing them to bypass the town of Ağdam using this new ring road. Azerbaijan's Mine Action Agency reported that from April 14th to 20th, a total of 893.8 hectares were cleared of mines and unexploded ordnances across multiple districts. During mine clearing operations in the Tərtər, Ağdərə, Kəlbəcər, Ağdam, Xocalı, Xankəndi, Xocavənd, Laçın, Şuşa, Füzuli, Qubadlı, Cəbrayıl and Zəngilan districts, 60 anti-personnel mines, 9 anti-tank mines, and 1,072 unexploded ordnances were detected and neutralized, ANAMA said in a statement. The trial of 15 persons accused of committing numerous crimes as a result of military aggression of Armenia against Azerbaijan continues. During the session held on April 21st, the defendants charged with committing genocide in the city of Xocalı addressed the queries of the state prosecutors. Arkady Gukasyan noted that hundreds of Azerbaijanis from Xocalı had been brought to Xankəndi and they were later handed over to the opposing side. It should be noted that during previous sessions, the victims who provided witness testimonies said that they had been subjected to torture because of the fact they were Azerbaijanis. Arkady Gukasyan said that the tragedy which occurred in Xocalı was only one of the several. During the time when the tragedy occurred, Artur Mkırtıçyan was the head of the so-called regime at the time, and Armenian armed forces launching an attack on Xocalı were led by Arkady Tertadavasyan. Defendant Pahosaken confessed that the Xocalı tragedy had been committed by the Armenian armed forces, but added he didn't know who led this operation. At the time, the head of the so-called self-defense forces was Serge Sarkisyan. Leyla Aliyeva, vice president of the Heydər Aliyev Foundation, held numerous meetings as part of a visit to Vietnam.
At the Hanoi College of Commerce and Tourism, Leyla Aliyeva met with representatives of the creative industry, leaders of educational institutions, and Vietnamese alumni who studied in Azerbaijan during the Soviet era. The meeting offered insights into the Hanoi College of Trade and Tourism, which has been operating since 1965 and is recognized as one of the leading and most prestigious educational institutions in Vietnam in this field. Discussions focused on the close relations between Azerbaijan and Vietnam across different areas, highlighting the strong friendship between the two peoples and the exceptional role of national leader Heydər Aliyev in establishing these ties. The meeting also emphasized that the 2014 state visit of President Ilham Aliyev to Vietnam marked a significant milestone in strengthening bilateral relations. Projects implemented by the Heydər Aliyev Foundation under the leadership of First Vice President of Azerbaijan Mehriban Aliyeva have further contributed to expanding these ties.
Culture, environment, feel each other more, exchange culture, and do more programs for exchange.
The foundation's educational and social projects in Vietnam were also mentioned, including the construction of a primary school in Ha Giang province with the foundation's support. Further expansion of existing ties and projects to be implemented by the Heydər Aliyev Foundation in the educational and social spheres were also in focus of the meeting. It was noted that the Vietnamese alumni who studied in Azerbaijan between 1968 and 1990 played a key role in fostering friendly relations between the two nations. It was underlined that following Heydər Aliyev's visit to Vietnam in 1983, the number of Vietnamese students in Azerbaijan increased significantly. During the Soviet period, up to 5,000 Vietnamese citizens studied in Azerbaijan. A financial support certificate from the Heydər Aliyev Foundation was presented to the Hanoi College of Commerce and Tourism. The meeting then was followed by a presentation of Azerbaijani cuisine by famous international chef David Israfilov, vice president of the World Barbecue Association. Leyla Aliyeva also visited Nguyen Dinh Shu Secondary School in Hanoi as part of her visit to Vietnam. The Nguyen Dinh Shu Secondary School was founded in 1982 with the mission of providing education for blind children in Hanoi. Since 1988, the school has been allowed to enroll students without disabilities, thereby implementing an integrated educational model for children with disabilities. The meeting offered insights into the foundation's projects contributing to the inclusion of visually impaired people in society and development of inclusive education in Azerbaijan. As part of its support for inclusive education, Leyla Aliyeva presented a certificate of financial support from the Heydər Aliyev Foundation to a secondary school for the visually impaired in Vietnam. It was also noted that the Heydər Aliyev Foundation will donate various equipment to the school to support the education of visually impaired children.
That was all for the day. Thank you for being with us. Goodbye.